Thank you very much for that welcome, and thank you once again for the opportunity to join with you on your Anzac commemoration ceremony for 2014, 99 years since Gallipoli. Anzac Day marks the anniversary of the landing of Gallipoli on the 25th of April 1915, 99 years ago, and the loss of so many Australian lives on that fateful day. It is now a long-standing tradition that on Anzac Day we all pause to remember those that offered up their lives in defence of their nation and community, which is the greatest contribution any citizen can make. Anzac Day is the day that we commemorate not only those who gave up their lives at Gallipoli 99 years ago, but for all those brave men and women who have made the supreme sacrifice in all theatres of war and conflicts from the late 1800s to the present day. Most of us gathered here today will have a relative or a friend or neighbour who has had direct links with men and women who have left the safe shores of Australia and unfortunately to never return. So we remember all the families and loved ones. I would like to briefly speak to you about Australia's involvement in World War I. World War I, sometimes called the Great War, lasted 4 years, from August 1914 to November 1918. Initially, it was a war between two sets of alliances, the Central Powers, which included Germany, Austria-Hungary and their allies on one side, and Britain, France and Russia as allies on the other side. The war was fought on a number of fronts. In Europe, the Western Front was in France and Belgium. The Eastern Front involved Russia and Austria-Hungary, and the Middle East became another theatre of war. An estimated 10 million lives were lost in that war, and the dominance of trench warfare in Europe resulted in dreadful suffering for all troops. Although the theatres of war were very distant from Australia, its membership of the British Empire ensured that there was strong public support for involvement in that war. From Australia, 324,000 enlisted and served overseas. 61,700 died. 155,000 were wounded. 4,044 were prisoners of war, of which 397 died while captive. The major battles Australians were involved in during World War I included Gallipoli in Turkey, Fromelles on the Somme, France, Bullecourt, France, Messines, Belgium, Ypres, the Battle of Passchendaele, Belgium, Hamel Spur, France, Mont-Saint-Quentin, France, Peronne, France, and Hindenburg Line, France. Women were not involved as fighting personnel during the First World War. However, they served as members of the Australian Army Nursing Service, dealing with injuries and immense suffering in the field. Throughout the war, they served wherever Australian troops were sent. In total, 2,139 nurses served overseas, 423 served in Australia, 25 died and 388 were decorated for their service. So in summing up, we today as free citizens commemorate and remember with gratitude the contributions made by so many from this great country of ours. So I would remind you that Anzac Day services in Yarrawonga College tomorrow. Anzac Day commenced with the dawn service at 6 o'clock at the ClubMulwala forecourt memorial, where students will be playing a most important part in giving the dawn service address. The march and service in Mulwala commences at 9:30 and the Yarrawonga march and service is at 11 a.m. And I hope that many of you will be able to attend at least one of the services as a way of saying thanks to all those who served in theatres of war and conflicts to this present day. I consider it a privilege to be here today and thank you all for the manner in which you have listened not only to me but to your fellow students who are conducting today's Anzac Assembly. Thank you very much.